Hello, welcome to Simple English with me, your teacher, Callum Hems. Today we are going to be looking at the use of passive voice in English. Someone online asked the question, what is the requirement of passive voice in English? Now, I didn't completely understand the question, but I took it to mean, why do we need the passive voice in English? So let's have a look at that question. Well, we use the passive voice when the topic of the sentence isn't said, isn't known, or isn't important. So let's have a look at an example. Andy's bike was stolen. Here we know that the bike belonged to Andy, and we know that someone stole the bike. And that sentence, someone stole the bike, is in active voice. But we have the word someone because we don't know who stole the bike. So we can use passive voice because it is not said, it is not known, or it is not important who stole the bike, who the topic of the sentence is. So we get Andy's bike was stolen. Now the question was, what is the requirement of passive voice in English? Why do we need passive voice? If you write a blog, you will often find there active voice. When I used to write a blog, the advice was never use passive voice. Why is that? Well, because blogs are typically written in an informal language. They want to communicate and speak to you as if you are a friend. In this case, we use active voice. So why do we have passive voice? We typically use this in more formal writing. This would be an essay, a research paper, a case study, a dissertation, or a research proposal. Now, when you're in the pub with friends, you'll probably use active voice when you are having a conversation, perhaps when you're making a speech, definitely when you're writing a blog or an informal piece of writing, definitely on Facebook, for example. But when you're writing something more academic, you might want to use the passive voice to get that formal feeling. So, what are we going to do now? Well, I have a task for you. I'm going to give you 3 sentences and I'm going to leave a blank where passive voice should be used. So, are you ready? Here we go. Sentence number 1. The film in France in the 1960s. The film in France in the 1960s. And here is sentence number 2. Chatting on trains on quiet carriages in the UK. So, chatting on trains on quiet carriages in the UK. And here is sentence number 3. Oil and fat to fry food. Here it is again. Oil and fat to fry food. I'm going to give you the answers to those questions in just a second, but first I want to remind you to hit that like button, subscribe, and if you want to become a super subscriber, sign up for the notifications, which will let you know when I have released a new video. And so let's look at sentence number 1. It is, of course, was released. The film was released in France in the 1960s. And let's have a look at number 2. So this one goes, chatting on trains is forbidden on quiet carriages in the UK. Chatting on trains is forbidden on quiet carriages in the UK. And let's have a look at number 3. So this one is oil and fat are used to fry food. Oil and fat are used to fry food. There are, of course, more advanced ways of using the passive voice, but if you are interested in that, you can research it online or let me know in the comments below and I might make a video for it. I'm really glad to have found this question and I'm happy to answer it. If you have any more questions about the language and how to use it, please let me know in the comments below. I will be happy to answer your questions. That's all for this episode of Simple English. Thank you for watching, have a good day and speak well. Goodbye.